So it's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Aston Villa fans, and welcome back after what I hope was a brilliant Christmas for all of you, for St. Stephen's Day over here and a Boxing Day over in the UK, a Boxing Day fixture against Manchester United, Paddy. And, you know, this is probably the biggest fixture of the day, and there's been some weird and wonderful results have happened in the Premier League today of some of the games that have been here. So let's hope we go out with our normal, I would say, professionalism and put a nice present under the metaphorical tree for Aston Villa fans tonight with an Aston Villa win.
Wouldn't that be just magic? And to do it on the Feast of Stephen, named after the man that scored the best goal ever at Old Trafford for Aston Villa. Yeah, it's one of those games where us as Villa fans just dread. And for the first time in, I think, forever, I've actually been looking forward to this one, and I'm expecting us to give them a right rattle tonight. I don't know how this is going to end up, but I'm expecting us to give them a right rattle. Obviously, team sheet permitting, will be strong and will be well able for them. But I just have a belief in this team, and no matter who he puts out, we'll be up for this and ready for it.
I think so too. And sorry if I look distracted, I'm just getting chats here of the actual Man United team. But I don't know how. I've gotten two different chats with two different teams, so I don't know which one is the correct one. That's why I was looking confused, because both of them came in almost simultaneously. One of them had Varane in the team, another one had the kid whose name I can't remember, the Ten Hag was talking about during the week. So yeah, it'll be interesting from that point as well to see. But I think with our team as well, Paddy, I think there's going to be a couple of talking points over the busy season. Will there be people rested? Will there be a change? Will there be an away formation, so to say, with a more defensive swing to it, with Boubacar Kamara being out? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I have a feeling that potentially he does go with a bit more defensive, and the only thing I can think of from that point of view might be to bring in somebody like Dendoncker, but you wouldn't be 1,000,000% sure on that. Does he just go with the status quo from the game against Sheffield United? Does Zaniolo start? Does Bailey start? Does Moreno start? So there will be conversation points here, I think, within this team sheet tantrum, and it's also, I suppose, the bench as well. Will we get anyone back? Like, there's been no mention of Pau Torres if he's fit. I would be very surprised if he's there. But maybe we've got somebody like Tielemans that's fit to make the bench, or who knows? It's going to be an interesting one, I think, for sure, because it's been, with the quick turnaround, there's less information comes out as well, which always kind of leads to some sort of surprises in team sheets, I think.
Yeah, and look, when you say surprises, Dendoncker wouldn't be a surprise to me tonight, just to give that little bit of physicality in that centre of the park. I'm expecting it.
Just not sure.
I'm expecting it to be Konza, Carlos, Longley, and Moreno. I think that makes sense. Obviously, we don't have Matty Cash, who's suspended. Yeah. I don't think Pau Torres is going to be back. I know we've seen him on grass and whatever, but it's not a huge amount of time between him not starting on Friday and being ready for today. I just don't see that. But look, I think no matter who he plays, I think we'll be fine. It's just the fear is always of what a referee is going to do to us at Old Trafford, which has happened those many years. And surely we can't have it 2 games in a row where we're done over by a referee and VAR. Then we end up calling them out over it. But look, we have a strong team. If it's Louise and McGinn, fair enough. It's Louise and Dendoncker, I think I'd be a little bit happier to free up McGinn to do a bit of damage on Man United, because I think he's well capable of it. Bailey or Diaby, I'm okay with either. Diaby is still the jury's out, obviously, on him. Bailey is probably the man in form, so for me it will be Bailey if that's a direct choice. I'm worried slightly about who's going to protect Konza on that side, and I don't know for the life of me who's going to be entrusted with that one.
That's why I think we could see somebody else in midfield, and like as I say, it only leads me. You've got Dundonker, maybe Tielemans makes a miraculous recovery and gets in there as well, because I think it just has to be John McGinn. I think it has to be John McGinn in there, and I wouldn't mind seeing us go back to that 4-man flat or box midfield today. I really wouldn't, with the likes of Ramsey and McGinn either side of Douglas Luiz and another. Obviously, I prefer if it was Boubacar Kamara, given what he does in that role, but. Maybe he might see Tielemans in there. Maybe he brings John McGinn in there and plays Tielemans out on the right. If Tielemans is fit, like I'm just spitballing here that if Tielemans is even fit, maybe someone like young Tim gets. It'd be very surprising. It'd be absolutely surprising. But I'd imagine he'd be on the bench. But I think we have confirmed the United team, and in a change from regular viewing here in the team sheet tantrum, we're going to go with the United team first. It seems like it's pretty rock solid that it's Onana in goals, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Evans and Dalot, with Manu, is that how you pronounce his name? Bruno Fernandes, Ericsson, then Garnacho and Rashford behind Highland. So there's firepower in that team. That's as strong probably as that team can be without Lisandro Martinez. And but still, like, there's still holes in that team. There's been holes there all year. And
so correct me if I'm wrong. You didn't mention Amrabat or McTominay there, did you?
I didn't mention either. No, you went with the young guy Manu. Is that how you pronounce it? Manu.
I don't know how you pronounce it.
Don't know. I haven't watched. I'm going to be really honest, lads. I haven't watched Man United play a game of football in about 2 months. So and
I would rarely watch Man United unless something depended on it that was happening around Aston Villa. I genuinely can't watch them. I can't watch the TV companies blowing smoke up their ass when they're quite obviously a piss poor side. So I don't watch them. So I'm not going to make any apologies for that either. But look, if what you say is and the team is ready there, if you want to get ours,
Goldbridge has just tweeted it, so I'd imagine that Brent knows what he's talking about. I'd imagine it's come through the United stand as well, and that's his gig, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But our team is also out, Paddy. Our team is also out, and oh no, okay. Well, look at that. Head to stage. Look at the man they have there. Leandro Dendoncker is on the poster boy for today. Martinez in goals. Konza, Diego Carlos, Longley and Digne. McGinn, Dendoncker, Douglas Luiz, Jacob Ramsey, Bailey and Watkins. So I'm going to get my wish, and I'm going to get my 4-man box midfield potentials here with McGinn out on the right and Jacob Ramsey out on the left, Bailey playing in alongside Watkins, or just behind Watkins. So we've got 2 goalkeepers on the bench again, Proctor and Marshall. Pau makes the bench. Yeah. Alex Moreno is there. Chambers is there. Diaby is there. Zaniolo, John Duran, and Tim Irogbunum is there as well. So no Tielemans on the bench. But Pau Torres makes the bench. That's interesting, I think, to me.
It is interesting.
It's not interesting. Yeah. I think it would have been a game time decision, but I think if Longley, because of the quick turnaround, if Longley and Carlos have been training together for since the Sheffield United game, I think you put him in there. Yeah, I think you put him in there.
Yeah.
What you think, Paddy? What you think?
Well, like my only surprise is I expected Moreno to play in this one, but he's gone with Luca Dean. So that's other than that, I'm absolutely spot on with what he's picked. We saw Dendoncker on a couple of occasions look fairly solid. Obviously has that little bit of a rick that has come in every now and again, and hopefully that won't be the case tonight. But other than that, probably time for Diaby to step aside. At some point it was going to happen. And look, if it comes to 60, 70 minutes and it's all square and we have to spring him from the bench, hopefully he comes off the bench with a bit of fire in his belly. A lot of ability to change the game in there, you know, with Zaniolo, Duran and Diaby. Hopefully there won't be any need for us to bring in Pau Torres and again another little bit of a rest before he is eventually back in the team. Absolutely fine with Longley and Carlos, two very, very solid players. I don't like Conzan on the right, but it needs must with Cash is out injured, and we probably, as we said over
suspended
and over again,
as well.
Right, he's suspended. I mean, yeah, but we said at nauseum that we needed another cover at right back, and this just proves it. Not that I'm overly worried about how Conza is going to perform there. I'd just rather see him playing as that right centre back. And hopefully, as you say, McGinn will be on the right and will offer a little bit of protection. And of course, when McGinn pushes on, we've got two pivots in there to shore up the midfield should they break on the run. Look, that's absolutely fine with me. I'm happy enough. Did you check was the team correct that you were given?
The United team. Let me just. I'm just going to bring it up here. See, I can't check it while I had the thing up on the screen. It's a limitation of talk amongst yourselves, everybody. Dun, 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 dun. And these assholes go with a weird setup, but what would you expect? So here we go. And I'm not going to click on it because it's one of the links. They do everything that pisses me off with Team Sheet Tantrum, revealed. So Onana and goals. Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, Highland, all up top. Ericsson is playing Garnacho. Yeah, it's the exact same team that I was the United stand head up there. So you've Dalot right hand side, or you've Dalot left hand side, Wan-Bissaka right hand side, Varane and Johnny Evans two centre halves. You've got Mino, or however you pronounce it. Playing in there in the sixth role. You've got Ericsson and Bruno Fernandes with Garnacho and Rashford either side of Highland. On the bench they have Benadir, Region, Cambuala, Gore, Hannibal, McTominay, Van der Beek, who this will probably be his swan song because in the after Eintracht Frankfurt on the 1st of January, Palestri and Anthony in there as well. So quite a lot of homegrown talent for them on the bench tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players anyway from their academy on the bench tonight. So yeah, it's like their first 11 is strong, and they've got Anthony on the bench.
Yeah.
After that,
so
really,
it'll be Garnacho and Rashford on the wings behind Highland.
Yes.
Would that be correct?
That's correct. Yeah. That would be it. Yeah. With Bruno Fernandes a bit deeper with Christian Eriksen, and then the young lad Mino, holding the fort. Jeez, you have to. We could get into a shootout here tonight. I'm going to say it. Spoiler alert! And I know, but if we outscore Manchester United tonight, we're going to win. I know how stupid that sounds coming out of my mouth, and it sounded. But I think this could be. I think this could be a 3-2 tonight. I just have a feeling about it. I think there could be goals in this tonight. I don't know why.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I do believe that we will score more than them. I'm not going to go 3-2. I'm going to go 3-1 to Villa tonight. Usually bites me on the ass when I predict is more than a 1 goal win, but I just feel there's just an air about this one that really makes me think we're going to go and win well. I just think it's going to be a really good performance. I think we'll bounce back from Friday night. And don't get me wrong, while it was very hard to break them down on Friday night, we didn't play too badly. We did our best, but when a team comes for a draw, it's very, very hard. Unfortunately, they chose not to go for a draw today, and it was a wide open game. I wished it was that way on Friday night because we would have enjoyed the game as a spectacle better on Friday night. But yeah, I'd be quite happily say that we're going to win this and we're going to win it 3-1.
I think we're going to win midfield. I think there's no doubt. I'm much happier with our midfield than theirs. But it depends if they go like essentially a 4-2-4. type formation. That's what I think they will. I think for Bruno Fernandes will be pushed a lot higher than he's listed here in the team. And that's why I think it could be a shootout tonight. And playing in Old Trafford, when games are shootouts like that, you really, really, really have to trust the officiating. And as we know, that's a fool's errand. That is a fool's errand specifically. So it's going to be an interesting one tonight. I'd much prefer, obviously, if they didn't have Varane back, but they do. Look, Johnny Evans isn't Benjamin Button either. Like, he's what? Is he 38? Is he the same goal as myself? I think he might be. He might be. Like, as I say, I remember there was a spurious link about him coming to Villa when Tyrone Mings went down. And I remember thinking, no, he's only a young fella. He's only 35. He's only a young fella, but still, he's a lot of mileage on the legs. And even at Leicester last season, they had to play him way more than they wanted to. And he came into United to train essentially, and then got a short-term deal because he's just because he's a professional. He's an absolute professional. And he's probably somebody that's good to have in and around there. But at the same time, I think Ollie Watkins will be looking forward to going up against him again this season.
Yeah, and look, there's a great big elephant in the room that we haven't mentioned, other than naming him in the team, and that's Onana. We know that he has many a mistake in him, so we need to get him under pressure from the start. We need to shoot on sight, which we haven't really been doing those long range shots, as you alluded to many times. Yeah, we walk the ball around the box. I think today is the time to start taking the bloody shots because, I don't have much faith in him. If I was a Man United fan, I'd be looking for them to buy another goalkeeper in January. But I'll
just bring back the game. How David De Gea doesn't have a club at this moment in time is an actual unsolved mystery. It should be on Ripley's Believe It or Not, or one of those TV shows you stumble across at 1 o'clock in the morning on the Discovery Channel about alien artifacts or something like that. David De Gea should be studied. Like, how he doesn't have a club is just bonkers. Anyway,
he's obviously looking for a hell of a lot of money. That's the only explanation.
That could be it too.
And a lot of players who have a high opinion of themselves do that at that stage of their career, that they nearly price themselves out of a deal, even though there's no transfer fee. So they overham their wages. And apparently he was on an awful lot at Manchester United. So does he have the graw to go somewhere else and pay with less wages? Probably not.
Yeah, I think so too. This is going to be a bit of a shorter team sheet tantrum. I forgot to mention that at the very start. So if you guys want to start getting in your score predictions below, we will go with those. I've had a couple of people ask me, and Matt Hanlon, thank you so much for this. Matt asks, hope the Christmas ham came out okay. I've had a couple of people ask me about my Christmas ham. I fucking nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. So much so that people didn't know I made it and they complimented it, and then I felt great about it, even though they didn't know that I made it. Put it that way. I didn't let it be known. 4.5 hours boiled it for 4.5 hours, baked it for another 35 minutes after I put on the glaze, wrapped it, because I did it the night before, wrapped it in tin foil, put 4 different towels around it to keep that moisture in. Obviously, let it settle for about 20 minutes, wrapped it, kept it, brought it the next day, and it was still as moist and as succulent as you would expect. So very proud of myself, and thank you so much everybody for asking about my Christmas ham. And hopefully Unai's recipe is as good as mine was for the Christmas ham this year. Where are my comments gone to? Where have they gone to? And sorry, guys, we didn't get to a load of your comments today. I really apologise. Just on a shorter time leash here today. But we will be back for the post-match podcast, and we will go through all your comments if needs be at that stage. But I do really apologise. I know there's a lot of people, wondering about Dendonker, wondering about Pau Torres. I saw a couple of things there. People were saying they were sad to see Pau miss out. He's on the bench for those who maybe came in a small bit late. Pau Torres is on the bench, so we may see him at some stage today, albeit I would imagine that's only in case of emergency break glass for that one. Where else are we here? So we're going to start off this. I'm going to get rid of my banner here because it'll only get in the way. So we're going to start off with our roundup here. Sai says 2-0 to Villa. Mick Ducati is 2-1 Villa. British Mick is going is going with a 1-1 draw. Nicole is going with a 2-1 to Villa. Michael McCarthy-Smith is going 3-2 Man United. 3-1 says Garrett McDonough. Lindsay's going with 3-1 to Villa. 1-1 again from Michael Richards. 3-0 from Sewer Sounds. 2-2 David O'Dwyer. 4-1 says Jonathan Kinsella. Jonathan Steele says 2-1 Villa with Highland predictably breaking his duck. No, we don't want to see Highland break his duck against us. Dream Villain says 3-0. Bertie W says 4-1 Villa. 2-1 Villa says CC. 2-2 says Michael O'Brien. Bog the Villain says 2-1 to the ref and VAR. Josh Dunn says 4-3 to Villa with Bailey, Watkins and Ramsey scoring. 1-1 says David Winter with dodgy penalties abound. Every time Neil cooks a ham, Villa beat Man United. He's going with 1-0 Villa, says Matt Hanlon. Well, put it this way, if I have to cook a ham before every game, I'll do it to get us over the line. 1-1 says Bear in the Garden. Richard Edwards is going with 2-0. Sean Bjork is going with 2-1. Rob Henry's going with 2-1 Villa. Mike Kane is going with 1-0 Villa. 1-1 says Dave. Bertie's looking for a wave from you, Paddy. Jordan Levy's going with 2-0 Villa. Daniel Hobson's going with 2-1 Villa. Flange is going with 3-2 Villa. Anne O'Grady's going with 2-1 Villa as well. Ken says 2-2. Nigel Franklin says 2-1 to VAR. John Banbury says 3-1 to Villa. 1-1 says Hot Tex Highlights. Junior Bennett's going for 2-0. And Brian York is going 5-3. But after VAR reviews, he's going with 2-1 Villa. So I'll take that. I'll take that all day long. Last one in. Patrick Hopkinson says 4-0 Villa. I think that's sorry, it's just the way it's written, Patrick. I think you're going with 4-0 to Villa because United Twitter aren't confident at all. Let's see. I met a couple of United fans today that weren't confident, specifically after the West Ham game. A lot of them have lost faith in Eric Ten Hag. I suppose it's up to the players now to show that they have or they haven't. You know, he's gone with a really attacking lineup at home. Villa get an early goal. I think that could turn into a powder keg. As I said before, Old Trafford could turn into a powder keg. And, it could become very volatile and very, very hostile, I suppose, from the stands, from the Stretford end very, very quickly. But, as I said, Villa will have to be judicious. They'll have to be professional tonight. And I think they can do that. I think they're going to be really structured. I think the Dendonker piece allows me to believe that, we will try and gather possession in this game and be our what would I call it? Our patient selves, and that might frustrate us for a time in this game. But I think United will try and come forward because I think they're under a bit of pressure. And if they do, I'm hoping Bailey and Watkins try and get something together down that right hand side, and maybe we catch them early for a goal, maybe in the first 25 minutes. My prediction is going to be 2-1 to Aston Villa. I know you said 3-1, and I know I said this could be a 3-2, but I'm hoping it's a 2-1 to Aston Villa, but I could see goals in this one. This one could have lots of goals in it, and it could be full of incident, and we could be here spitting feathers afterwards. And if we are, look, that's all part of being a Villa fan. But I hope you do join us after this for our after game reaction. What do you think, Paddy? Anything else you want to go through? Please have something to go through because I forgot to do something on the stream before I started.
Don't have a whole pile to go through, but I'm kind of hoping that this will be us putting the Eric Ten Hag era to bed the same way we put the Ronaldo era to bed last season on that awful game that he had at Villa Park when Unai Emery took over, which ultimately saw the end of him. So let it be the end of Eric Ten Hag tonight, and they bring in their next Messiah, who won't be Unai Emery, that the media are trying to hype up at the moment, because we all know that he's got the keys of the Red Brick Castle and he is running the show from here on in. So he's going nowhere.
Absolutely. I don't think he's going anywhere either. I don't think so. But we are going to leave it at that. Here's to an Aston Villa win, everybody. As I say, I think it's going to be a great game. It's on prime time, 8 o'clock tonight. Get yourself sorted for it, and we will see you back here right on the full-time whistle to dissect it afterwards. But in the meantime, everybody, I do have to run. So stay safe, stay healthy, and all that's left to say is up the Villa. Let's go beat United.